Imagine you're born into Hollywood royalty. Your dad is a legit action hero, and your mom is a world-famous supermodel. Your future seems set. Red carpets, fashion runways, the whole deal. So why would you throw all of that away for this? A world of sweat, sacrifice, and the bone-jarring reality of a wrestling ring. This is the story of Arissa LeBrock. She's the woman who had it all, lost it in a heartbeat, and is now fighting to build her own legacy, one brutal body slam at a time. This isn't just another celebrity kid story. This is about what happens when a life built on fame collides with a world that only respects one thing: grit. Hollywood royalty, a different path. To really get Arissa LeBrock's journey, you have to understand the massive shadows she grew up in. Her father is Seagal, the Aikido master who became one of the biggest action stars on the planet with blockbusters like Above the Law and Under Siege. He brought a scary level of real-deal martial arts to Hollywood. Her mother is Kelly LeBrock, the supermodel and actress who basically defined the 80s in movies like Weird Science. Arissa grew up where fame, money, and a certain brand of toughness were the family business. But Arissa wasn't about to ride her parents' coattails. She first made a name for herself as a successful plus-size model, becoming a powerful voice for body positivity and landing major campaigns. She even appeared on the Lifetime series Growing Up Supermodel. She proved she could handle the spotlight, but more importantly, she was carving out her own identity, totally separate from her parents. While the fashion world saw a model, a completely different passion was bubbling under the surface. It was a passion that connected to her father's legacy, but was entirely her own. Arissa started training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one of the most demanding martial arts in the world. This wasn't just a hobby. She became a fierce and dedicated competitor, winning medals in tournaments and proving she had the heart of a real fighter. She had found a discipline that was all hers, a world away from the choreographed fights in her dad's movies. And it was this unique mix, the poise of a model and the proven toughness of a BJJ competitor, that put her on a collision course with a new, even more unforgiving world. The WWE Dream and the devastating fall. In December 2019, the worlds of Hollywood and pro wrestling finally slammed into each other. The news broke. Arissa LeBrock was invited to a multi-day tryout at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. For any wrestler, that's the call. The Performance Center is a state-of-the-art dream factory, but it's also a meat grinder, a brutal, painful ordeal designed to push athletes to their absolute physical and mental breaking points. The drills are legendarily tough, hours of conditioning, taking endless bumps in the ring, and intense promo classes where you have to prove you can own a crowd. Arissa's name alone made her a big deal at the tryout. The story was just too perfect. The action hero's daughter wants to be a WWE superstar. But inside the wrestling business, a world that prides itself on paying your dues, people were skeptical. What chance did a model from a life of luxury really have? Arissa was there to prove them all wrong. Her BJJ background gave her a foundation of toughness that most prospects can only dream of. This was her shot to show the biggest wrestling company in the world that she was more than just a famous name. She was ready for the grind. And then, disaster struck. The exact details of what happened have been kept private, but the result was catastrophic. A severe, career-threatening injury during or right after the tryout brought her wrestling dreams to a screeching, heartbreaking halt. Think about how crushing that moment must have been. You decide to chase this impossible dream. You're right there on the edge of a new life, and your own body betrays you. The dream was gone. What came next was, by her own honest admission, a fall into a very dark place. Recovering from a major injury is a painful physical battle, but the mental recovery can be so much harder. It's a time filled with doubt, frustration, and the constant haunting question of, what if? It was during this period that Arissa hit rock bottom. In a moment of incredible honesty, she later shared a chilling look into her mindset, saying, I realized that I had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life. To be in a dark place is one thing. To get comfortable there means you've started to surrender. For years, it looked like the story of Arissa LeBrock, the wrestler, was over before it ever got started. The call from a legend, and the rebirth. A dream that gets put on hold can either break you or forge you into something stronger. For Arissa LeBrock, her time away from the ring became a period of rebirth, and it all kicked off with one life-changing phone call. The call was from Dustin Rhodes. In professional wrestling, the name Rhodes is royalty. Dustin, son of the legendary American Dream Dusty Rhodes and brother of WWE superstar Cody Rhodes, is respected by absolutely everyone. From his iconic and brilliant creation of Goldust to his current role as a veteran star and acclaimed coach, Dustin Rhodes is a master of the craft. As the head coach of the Rhodes Wrestling Academy in Texas, he's now dedicated to shaping the next generation of wrestlers. When Dustin called Arissa, he saw past the injury, the famous parents, and the failed tryout. He saw an athlete whose story wasn't finished. He offered her a second chance, an invitation to move to Texas and train at his academy. For Arissa, that call was the shock to the system she desperately needed. It snapped her out of that comfortable darkness she'd settled into. She later said, "When I got the call from Dustin, I realized that I had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life. It was time for me to give every ounce of passion within me to professional wrestling." The Rhodes Wrestling Academy is a different universe from the polished corporate vibe of the WWE Performance Center. It's an old-school dojo built on hard work, fundamental skills, and a deep respect for the art of wrestling. Here, Arissa wasn't just a number in a huge tryout. She was a student under the direct mentorship of a legend. Working with personal trainers, she started methodically rebuilding her body, getting all her ducks in a row, as Dustin put it. She was learning how to translate her dangerous BJJ skills into the unique language of pro wrestling. Dustin Rhodes was blown away by her dedication. He told reporters, "She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her," before making a bold prediction, "Pretty soon the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa LeBrock." The debut and a legacy redefined. After months of blood, sweat, and starting over, the moment of truth finally came. In March 2023, Arissa LeBrock graduated from the Rhodes Wrestling Academy and competed in its student showcase, her official public in-ring debut. It wasn't in some giant arena with TV cameras everywhere. It was in an intimate setting, in front of a small crowd that knew the journey it takes just to step through those ropes. When she made her entrance, she wasn't Steven Seagal's daughter or a failed WWE prospect. She was a survivor. She had beaten the devastating injury, the crushing self-doubt, and the suffocating darkness. She was finally, without a doubt, a professional wrestler. Competing in a tag team match, she was victorious in her debut, showing off a powerful style that immediately had people comparing her to dominant forces like Nia Jax. She proved that the setback that once looked like a tragic ending was just a detour that forged her character. Arissa LeBrock's story is a powerful lesson in resilience. Born with two iconic names that could have defined her, she refused to live in their shadow. She built her own identity as a model, then forged her own discipline as a martial artist. And when the wrestling world finally called, it hit her with a dream-crushing injury that would have broken most people. But she refused to let her story end there. Guided by a wrestling legend, she rebuilt herself from scratch, trading a life of comfort for the sweat and sacrifice of the mat. She's proven that a famous name isn't a free pass. Sometimes it's just a heavier burden to carry. Arissa isn't just carrying her family's name anymore. She's redefining it in her own image, with her own grit. This journey is far from over. It's really just beginning. Arissa is now in the earliest stages of her career, building it the right way and earning respect through skill, not status. The question is no longer if she belongs in a wrestling ring, but where she'll ultimately leave her mark. And that brings up one last exciting question. With her unique look, legitimate combat skills, and growing experience, where does Arissa LeBrock go from here? Will she find her way back to the global stage of WWE and finish the story that started at that fateful tryout? Or will she join her mentor, Dustin Rhodes, in the ranks of AEW? What do you think the future holds for Arissa LeBrock? Who would be her dream opponent in WWE or AEW? Let us know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this story of resilience and want more deep dives into the next generation of wrestling, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.